I ain't checked my calendar. Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
everyone. And
Good
welcome to
morning.
another episode of the People's Rebuttal Podcast. How we doing, gentlemen?
And I'm a little jealous right now with this bagel eater over here.
Oh man, didn't it look good when he put it in the
I'm
screen?
sitting over here talking
I
about
feel
eating bagels. I'm sitting here going, man, I should have made me some bagels.
I don't know what you're doing. That's the difference between let me put my glasses. That's the difference between, big guys and small guys. We're always thinking about survival first. And I can't do anything. I can't do anything without eating first. Let me eat so I can get my mind together. You know what I
Come
mean?
on
You know
then.
what I'm saying,
Come on
Mafio?
then.
How am,
Come on
how am I
then.
supposed to operate? You know, I just go from a regular operator to when I eat, I become the smooth operator. You know
Oh,
what I'm
not the
saying? So
not
I
the
I need
smooth.
that. I need that in my life. So I'm
Okay.
sorry if you guys. I apologize.
Got my stomach grumbling.
I apologize. If I came on here and I got a little bit disrespectful,
Oh,
but
we
I had to
nah.
take care
It
of
ain't
myself.
disrespectful. So
I'm on a liquid diet.
we do have an opening deal because I have a question, something that's kind of current right now for you, Mr. Vaughn.
Yeah.
So have you heard of this thing going on in Florida, the Don't Say Gay bill? Have you heard about it?
You mean like don't say the word gay?
Well, it's basically banning. Well, it's putting out there that it's banning teachers from talking to students about, you know, being gay, about being all of that.
It's the watered down version of Texas taking all the
They just
books and
watered. I mean,
everything
but
off
they
the
watered
shelves.
down everything. They watered down everything for children. Uh, for
But
school. I
but
mean, they watered everything down, and then when you get to the real world, it's not the same. I don't like that. So
well, but the
as
real world, and that's it's being pushed out in Florida as you can't say it, but in the end, and Mafio and I just looked at because I didn't know what the age deal was on it.
And I was about to say
the
that's a
age
very
deal on
important
what?
part. So they have it from what is it, kindergarten to third grade, and the teachers can't provoke the conversation.
They came if the kid approaches them, they
They
have
can't
to
even
send them to
have
their
it.
parents.
Okay.
What?
But hold on, I have a
What?
question. Would you want to have that conversation with anywhere between 6 to 8 year old?
No,
You
no,
wouldn't,
not
but
no, no, not no. No, I
okay.
wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to have that conversation. I
You
mean,
what would you tell them?
you mean if we seen somebody that was gay?
No. It's not about that. It's like the idea is like if a kid would approach you and can you explain to me why I have a mom and a dad and he has a mom and a mom or a dad and a dad? What would you do? What would you do
If my kid approached me and asked me that.
if
A kid that you
a
were a
student,
teacher of,
a
one of your
student
students.
that was anywhere between
Oh,
the
that ain't
age
none
of
of my
6 and 8?
yeah. I wouldn't. That wouldn't be none of my business.
But
That's
what would you?
that's
I mean, would you just be like, hey, I think that's a better
in
question for your
school.
parents?
Yeah, in school, I don't mess with those other people's kids. For first of all, religions and sexual preferences. That ain't my area. You go down
Okay.
to the counselor. That's what the counselor down there for. That's not mine. I mean, that's what I did. That's what I did with kids, and these were
Yeah,
with older
yeah,
kids. Coach, what are you? Nah, go down there with the counselor, baby. Don't tell me nothing. Go,
gotcha,
bye. Because it
gotcha.
ain't. Because I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get
Okay.
into that because now you dragging my opinion in there rather than my professionalism. I'm not trained in that area, and I'm not about to try to play like I am.
Hmm.
So when you're dealing with other folks' kids, their parents are that's their job to teach them religion and everything else that goes along with that. That's not my job. My job to teach content, and that's period, and take my uh, subjectiveness out of
Yeah.
things. Take
Okay. Okay.
because I think everybody has at that age that mind is very impressionable,
Okay.
and they're gonna repeat everything you said, and so they take that stuff home.
Yeah, I get it. Now with me, Like I thought about it and formulated it in my mind as if it was to happen. And I think I would, far as the kid, hey, I'm not running away from your conversation, but give me a little bit. We'll get back to that. We'll revisit it at some point. However, I'm gonna formulate that to the kid. But I would definitely include the parent ASAP and
Mhm.
let them know that this is something that is on this kid's mind, and if they are aware of it. And the reason I think that part is important because uh, from what I hear, there's a lot of this things going on in the cartoons nowadays in these Disney
Oh
movies,
my
and
God.
it's not. It may not be blatant.
Subliminal.
Yeah, there you go. And that's how they're infusing it into these kids. So if a kid has that type of thought or idea, it came from somewhere. And I think the parents should be involved quickly. And then also, like you mentioned as well, I have two fathers or I have two mothers or, kind of deal. I'm different than that needs to
But
be addressed
you're
because now the kid is aware of it.
see, I don't view that as different. I mean, I am the polar opposite of homophobic.
Okay.
When Tyler came, when one of my kids came out to me, I was like, okay, kind of already knew, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. I don't care.
Yeah.
And so you're not really that different. I mean, I get that you have two moms and you have two dads, but you have two parents who love you, and that's all we give a flying crap about.
But again, we are talking about very young, impressionable minds.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation for a parent. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, if a parent's like, hey, I'd like your guidance on it, sure. But if it should never be, hey, we're going to talk about this, but I want to involve your parents, but then introducing it to the parents and then walking away. Because again, but that was just my question of whether, I mean, again, it's being pushed out like it's, the entire state, you can't say it. You got the girl at Disney that was an executive who's like, I try to put queer on everything. Well, I mean, it's Disney. I mean, I I don't care. I think it's become rampant now, but I don't
I
care.
think that I feel that
Become
But
too.
I don't
rampant?
care.
Yeah,
It is.
the subliminals are out off the chain, man.
I mean, Dumbledore's gay. You watch Harry Potter?
I don't know if he gay. I ain't watching.
No,
I
they're
don't like Harry
pushing it
Potter
out.
as much. I don't like Harry Potter as much as I like Lord of the Rings. That's a little bit too the G word for me. That's what that's a little bit too soft for me, man. I'm just like, oh yeah. I need some more punching up in there. That's for me.
Yeah.
That's for me. I'm a little bit. They emasculating a lot of things these days, and the subliminals are out of control, man. It's like you're pushing an agenda, you know, and
Yeah.
and they're throwing it not only in Disney movies but in video games, behind the guys
Well, you can't
cartoon
watch
characters.
TV nowadays without.
It's everywhere.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
sitting there
but
watching. My grandmother
It's
used to sit
everywhere.
there and watch TV, and she'd mute Wheel of Fortune because she always hated it when people would say more money, more money. She hated it. But on top of that, she would mute commercials, and she says, "I don't know how in your day and age y'all can sit there and watch TV like you and a girl you're dating." She's like, "It's nonstop tampon commercials, yeast infections." She's like, "I don't understand how you can sit there and watch TV with someone of
well,
the opposite sex.
they know who watches.
Erectile dysfunction."
I mean, it's real, but it's real though. You
Right.
gotta
It's
think.
very
You gotta
real.
think of the generation that your grandmother grew up in, and my
Mhm.
mother grew up in, or
Mhm.
whatever. They were silent about a lot of things. Women
Yeah.
couldn't speak as much.
Yeah.
Kids didn't have any right to speak at all. Whatever your parents said, that's what you did. Or you got your whole, not a piece of your mouth, your whole mouth. Your whole mouth was thrown away. You know what I'm saying? And so the speaking and the individualism wasn't there, and it created it really created some bad things because now you've created an environment where it's where people don't feel free to talk, and there's a problem there.
Mhm.
People were getting beat and abused. Um, and specifically like in families like mine's, um,
Morning, Michael.
the older people don't talk about what happened. In some
Yeah.
cases, people don't even know who their fathers and people like that are because you don't want to talk and tell them something, and you know that ends up, you know, that's a trickle down effect,
I
and
get it.
you know, I
All right.
just feel like that little part of it, that's just a part of the big grand scheme of things.
So I want to get to our topic, but I got one more thing.
Mhm.
You know, I'm always about learning. I'm always about finding out new things. You hear about the girl in up north, East Coast, that texted her boyfriend into killing himself.
No, but
You hear about that, Vaughn?
That's not the
It
first
happened
time
like
I've
3 or
heard
4
something
years
like
ago.
that.
I heard about the girl that stabbed her boyfriend.
No, I want to get on this one because this is actually
Yeah,
very
I ain't heard
important.
about that one.
So her
What
name
kind of
is
coochie is that?
her name is Michelle Carter.
Okay.
She had a boyfriend. He had continued to, you know, he ended up committing suicide. But she
Because
was, well, hold on. So she was sending him texts. When are you going to do it? Are you going to do it today? Da, da, da,
Okay.
da. And then he's sitting in the truck with basically a secondary engine in the back running carbon monoxide.
Okay.
And he gets out of the truck. She tells him to get fucking back in the truck, you know, and finish it. So there's a very good little series on this on HBO. That girl was mentally, they were the perfect storm. They were both on Prozac or Zoloft or Prozac or one of those anti. They were both suicidal. They had both tried to commit suicide. And if you watch the entire thing and look at all and go through as they present all these text messages, you realize that he had kept saying he was going to kill himself and kill himself and kill himself and that he would be better off. So in the end, she felt him
she
killing
gassed him up.
himself.
She
Well, she
encouraged him.
actually, no. If you go back and look at the text messages, he started it. He kept telling her he was going to
started it,
kill him.
but she carried
No,
it
no,
on.
no.
She
No.
gassed him up,
But
Zach.
again, I'm telling you, watch the documentary. I don't agree with what she did. I think she's. I mean, that's a
she an
different.
Yeah, but
accessory?
let's go back to what you said. You
She got
said that
convicted.
she
Of course.
made him kill himself.
Watch
She
the doc.
gassed-
No.
She gassed him up.
No. Watch the documentary. You literally, when you're done with that documentary, you're like, okay.
What's the name of the
She wait a minute.
documentary?
I don't know if you look up Michelle
Motherfuckers
Carter
killing
and
themselves.
Roy Conroy. I'm telling you to watch it because she was so the news never told you that she had already tried to commit suicide. She was cutting herself. She was bulimic. She was on Zoloft or whatever
Ain't nothing wrong-
antipsychotic drugs.
Is she dead today?
No, she's in
No.
prison.
Ain't nothing wrong with her, Zach.
Man.
Ain't nothing wrong
watch
with her.
the-
That fool dead, is she not? There ain't nothing
Watch
wrong
the
with her. She's
document-
in perfect.
Watch the documentary.
Yeah, but she's
You
still
will
alive.
be.
Zach. You said
No.
that
This
she
is the
was-
Chris Rock thing. I'm telling you. Because
Yeah,
the whole
wow.
time I'm sitting here going, fuck this bitch. They should, tie her to a chair and let her die a slow death.
She
But I
ain't
watched
dead.
this
There's
stupid
nothing
ass
wrong with her.
I watched this documentary and was like, I did not know that it went down like that. I did
Zach,
not know.
you said both of them were on antidepressants, blah blah blah, and they were the perfect storm. That's what
Yep.
you said. Hold up now.
Yep.
That's exactly what you said.
Crazy storm.
However, she came to her right senses when she was talking to him. She was suicidal. She just didn't say it was her that's gonna be committing suicide.
No, she had already tried to commit suicide.
Bullshit.
She
You
backed
don't
out
try
of
to
it.
commit suicide.
Well, he tried to commit suicide 4 times before that.
Shit, you don't try to.
He
do that
succeeded
shit.
on the last
Let me tell you
one.
something. If you ready to go, you ready to go. Go.
Oh no, I'm with you. Nobody really talks about killing
Now,
themselves.
now let me tell you something.
Gotta
This
worry
is the
about
only thing. I'd had a couple kids. I didn't had a couple kids. Did have a kid approach me, but I knew he was bullshitting. I said, whatever you do, don't do that shit in front of me. Take your ass out there. Take your ass out there that street because and I told him
That's
exactly
not
what
funny.
my dad
That's
told
not
me.
funny.
Yeah, and I told him exactly what my dad told me. He said there's a lot of, for the lack of, I'm gonna choose better words than what my dad used.
No doubt.
Please.
There's a lot of people out here that die in the street every day. And you know what? The rain comes away and washes all your blood away. Nobody ever knew you was there. And I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? And I told the kid that one day. I said, man, you're going out there and kill yourself if you want to. And the world, the world not gonna feel sorry for you. They're gonna keep moving. You know, and people gonna forget about you. Is that what you want for yourself? You know, so quit feeling sorry about you for yourself. You got a lot of good stuff going on in your life. You got a bus pass. You may not have no place to stay, but you got a bus pass for free, and you get into school, ain't you?
All right, so we
and you
so
get a
we
free meal.
so let's go on to our topic. Maybe we'll start doing.
Well, wait
that
a minute,
first
Zach.
segment.
Let's
Nah,
talk
we can't
about
wait a
how
minute.
she was. No, I'm talking about this woman that you said.
No, I'm telling you,
nothing
watch
wrong
the
with her.
documentary. The minute you watch the documentary, because you're going to be angry after. So there's.
I'm not angry.
It's
I'm not
only
angry.
a 2-part series. You're going to
I'm
be
not
pissed
angry right
off
now.
after the first one.
I'm angry
No.
that you
I'm
let
saying
somebody
no.
overpower him like that.
If you watch the first one, you're going to be like, "Fuck that bitch. She should burn in hell."
The kid that
Then you watch the second one and you're like, "What the fuck? Where was all this shit in the news?"
so this
Girl
young
was
man,
14 years old, by the way.
14. Okay, well maybe
We're not talking about grown.
How was the boy?
He was a year older.
The boy wasn't the one
Oh,
in the
man,
black
we're
truck
talking
on the
about some
side of the
kids.
beach thing, was it?
What we talking
He
about?
was
in,
at
in
he
a
was
pickup truck.
yeah, in
Well, we're
a
talking
Kmart
about
parking
kids
lot.
then. We're talking about kids, and I thought
Yes.
we were talking about adults.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
familiar.
kids
Watch-
are
I
easy
saw
to-
that.
Yeah,
I saw.
teenage
Did you
kids
see
are
that?
easy.
Yeah, watch the
that's
HBO. Don't watch all the news because the news stuff's in it, and I mean they trash our 100. But I'm telling you, just watch the documentary. I don't want to even discuss it unless you go, because it will give you a whole new light into. Because I've always been let the bitch burn, and then even after the
But she
first
was
episode,
14,
I'm like,
Zach.
what they do?
Zach,
They're
she was
just
14.
let the bitch burn.
I think they were a little bit older. I think
they may have been.
I
She
think
may have
they-
been 16.
they were like
17,
at
18.
high school age, upper high school age, junior.
Yeah, Michael,
sophomore.
we're gonna move on to the topic.
No
We
doubt.
got people
No
out.
doubt.
So
No
earned
doubt.
or expected. Vaughn and I were talking about respect, and I think earned or expected is, you got all these kids out there that think that they just expect respect. So I was watching this series about WeWork, the
WeWork?
office building. Yeah.
Oh, we were. Yes.
And
We
how
were,
everybody
we were.
gets butt hurt. And Vaughn didn't like I wanted to actually name it butt hurt the other day.
You mean
But
I didn't like it?
Yeah, Vaughn didn't
ahead.
like. He was
Go
like,
ahead.
you can't do butt hurt. I wanted to put butt hurt up there because that's what it is. You say something, you have an entire generation that gets butt hurt about it. And like, have you earned my respect enough for me to give a flying crap about what you think? And then they go into like this rant about how, but you understand how hurtful. Well, don't fucking listen to me if you don't like me. Turn the fucking podcast off, you punk ass bitch.
Oh.
If you don't like what the fuck I'm
Oh.
saying.
Hey,
if
that's
you're
the
gonna
words
get
of Zach
butt hurt,
Whiteside,
yeah.
Zach,
not
you
the people's
okay?
rebuttal.
No, because
now you sounded
Who's
butthurt.
I'm
butthurt?
tired of
Who's
being.
butthurt?
I'm
Who's
tired.
butthurt?
I don't know, but if you're gonna get butt
Sure.
hurt, fuck off.
Ooh,
I don't care.
ooh,
It doesn't make it. You're
Zach,
basically saying I can't have an opinion, right? I
Zach.
can't have an opinion if you don't like my fucking opinion.
Ooh,
Not you.
I get it. I'm just.
ooh,
I get it.
Zach. Ooh,
Trust me, I get it.
you,
I have a rebuttal, but I get it.
I don't know. I want the fucking rebuttal.
ooh,
Give me the rebuttal of motherfuckers being butthurt.
ooh, man. So give me an example. What do you think about that, Mafia?
Well,
Earned or respect?
well,
Well, just-
well. See that, and it's thin ice again because I mean,
Ooh,
if,
super
I'm
thin.
not gonna purposely, be inconsiderate of someone, especially if they're in my presence. And if they
Right.
voice that opinion, I'd like to have a conversation to know why you feel the way you feel. Because a lot of times in communication nowadays, especially when you're communicating with different generations, it's misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? I talk to people that's probably in my generation and I'm misunderstood. So there's a reason why they're that way. And I'm again non-confrontational. So we can talk about it. Like I told my man, hey, we can talk about it
Yeah.
if you like to discuss. But if you just want to be in your feelings about it, then that's something personal that you inflict on yourself. And there's some other things need to be attended to.
Yes, it is about Keisha. It is about getting butt hurt and all these little butt hurt bitches out there.
Another incident. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
So
Good morning, Keisha.
So it is. I'm not talking. You're talking about an insult. So the example in that show was that she said, I've had a great My purpose was standing behind my husband. And all the women, were like, well, what do you mean by standing behind your husband? And it's like the whole thing became an issue. You're telling me you're butthurt because her choice. So why shouldn't she be butthurt because now you're
Well,
messing up her choice?
And wait,
No,
just for
well-
myself, what Vaughn, pardon me, just for my understanders, for our listeners and myself understanding, there was a situation with a married couple, and
So they were up on stage, they were giving a speech. She came up to talk. She talked about, the purpose and, her standing behind her husband, and everybody's like, but, oh, well, you shouldn't, that's not, shouldn't stand behind your husband. What the fuck you talking about? You should stand behind your husband. And maybe,
I mean, did he do some Bill Clinton?
You
like,
mean
you know what
No,
I'm saying, in the
no, no,
White
You mean
House and
physically stand
Hillary's
behind him,
supposed
or
to-
you
No,
mean some as a,
you know,
in a
what
support role?
was that? Stand by yo, man. Well, who the fuck sang the song "Stand by You, Man"?
What was the
The
purpose?
point
that she had
being
to
is you
clarify
can't
she's
say
standing behind?
anything nowadays where somebody's not going to get offended.
Okay,
Well, who gives a
We
fuck
live
what
in
other
a
people
very
feel if you
sensitive
believe in it?
generation.
That's what I'm saying. So should we sit here and coddle? I mean, every time you read some of these comments, oh, well, that was hurtful. Well, fucking don't read my shit, bitch.
Does this stem from the original first issue, like not being able to say the G word in Florida?
nah.
Hey man, I'm just asking.
I
Hey,
get
that's
it.
how I'm wired
get
up.
it.
I'm
I get
sorry.
it.
Well, so Vaughn and I got into this topic because we were
Yeah,
talking
let's
about me and
clarify
you.
for
Because
everyone
we were
that
talking
listens.
about me and you. And me and you can sit here and have a
Yeah.
heated discussion.
Yeah,
But we know in the end we're good.
there's no feelings involved. We didn't take it.
Well,
we got-
well, the basis of that, you have a mutual respect for.
We
Right.
do.
I
We do.
respect his
That's-
opinion.
it's
I'm
been
gonna let him
established.
have his
Yeah, that
opinion.
ain't just talking.
Yes.
Y'all respect each other, so
Right.
that's different.
Yeah.
But that's the deal. Is it earned or expected? I can tell you for the most part, when I meet somebody, I'm going to give you public respect. I'm not going to disrespect you.
right.
There's going to come a point where do I respect your opinion? I don't know. I don't know you.
Mhm.
So if I just met you and you throw an opinion out there, I'm gonna be like, well, where does that come from? Do I really know this fool? And be honest with you, half time I don't even want to fucking get to know him. I have people walk up to me all the time when hanging out with big fella and sitting there like, hey Zach, and I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck you are.
No doubt.
And probably
Because-
vice versa.
No, they say my name. They're like, hey Zach, how you been doing? I'm just looking at him like, oh, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to sit here going,
Like they
"Who the
might know you
fuck
from
do
the
I know
show. You don't know that, baby.
No, they
You
know
what
me
I'm saying?
because
When you
I met
traveling around
them.
with a rock star, baby. You gotta be
Nah,
who you are, baby.
they met me because of out and about.
Regardless,
yeah.
they approached you. They said your name. Is there a problem with that?
No. Nobody's saying there's a problem with that, but
Okay.
I don't. Halftime I'm gonna look over and go, hey man, who the fuck is that? Oh, you met him at I'm like, oh, okay.
You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose who walk up on you. They walk up and ask me how tall I am every day, baby. I don't know
Every
who the
day.
fuck they are. No,
Yeah.
y'all don't get to do that. Y'all don't get to get mad. Like if we
No, nobody got mad. No, you're misunderstanding. I don't get mad about it, but it's just a matter of I don't care enough. I don't care enough about until I get to know somebody. I don't care enough about your opinion. I give flying shit about your opinion.
right.
I may to a certain degree, depending on what day and what environment you catch me on. You know what I'm saying? Like, but see, and then that goes back to the generation we're living in, the times we're living in, social media and all this different kind of stuff. You have all these people, man. Again, when you talk about these feelings and emotions, they connect themselves to their feelings and emotions about what someone says or do, and have an issue with it. A lot of times it's not discussed, but there'll be comments put in the ether, and then it's perceived however it's perceived.
But is it expected
well,
or is it earned? Is it me?
respect? Is respect expected?
No,
or
not
earned?
just respect,
just
but
respect.
I'm talking about like if I'm sitting there, if Vaughn and I are on a golf course and I don't know I don't know the other two people we're golfing with, again, you're going to have the base until you give me a reason of respect. I mean, you're going to have what I consider human decency.
Okay.
You're going to have that level of respect for me until I get to know you and
Well, I think we call that common. It's just common respect. You know,
Common courtesy. Well, I call it
yeah,
common
common
courtesy.
courtesy and common respect for people. And I think, yeah, I think it's expected that you at least have the common decency, uh, to respect me as just as another person. But when you start digging in deeper and pushing the envelope, I think we going somewhere else. You try to see what a person can handle, especially if you're out, and it depends how long you're around another person that you just meeting and you don't know. And it happens, like you say, on the golf course all the time. Sometimes our personalities do clash. I done played with tons of other guys who I don't fucking know, but I wouldn't talk to afterwards. That I wouldn't talk to afterwards just because I did not mind.
Because you and I don't care about. I mean, you and I will get on a golf cart and sit there and
You
let
will
people.
lie.
We will let people pass us. We don't care. We
Mike,
don't
you
care
lying.
about, huh? Oh,
Talking
Mike,
about Mike, he's
you cuss
lying.
me out.
Y'all know I don't cuss at all.
So I'm gonna give you an example because this is a good example. I was at the House of Blues out on the patio, smoking a cigar, sitting there having a conversation with somebody, and somebody who wasn't even part of my conversation got butthurt about her eavesdropping bitch ass in my conversation.
Okay.
And it was about tips, right? And I don't
Okay.
even want to get in the fucking argument
Yeah,
about
ooh,
tips.
okay.
But it was about tips and how people who are servers, they get upset because whether they get a tip, don't get a tip, blah 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 blah.
Is that
And
expected?
I'm not. I do. If we want to do that, because there will be people ranting and raving about that shit. But my conversation was, if they don't like it and they don't feel that they're getting their due, why don't they just get a different job? And this crazy woman jumps up and said, that was a conversation we were having.
I get
And
it.
then
I
so
get
she
it.
butts her ass in
Yes.
and like, well, they deserve the right to be happy. And I'm like, oh, I agree 100%. But so does the guy digging ditches. And the reason he digs ditches is because of how much money it pays.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you really go into conversation or dialogue with this young lady after she butted into the
Well,
conversation?
Oh, well, I had
Yes or no?
I had a few
Yes or no?
words.
Those-
Okay.
Like,
Just-
why are you listening to my
Okay.
conversation? But
I get it.
then yes.
I get it. So this
Was
is
it-
Go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah,
Because
did you use choice words?
Because see, look, check this out.
No, because of where I was at, I had a level of politeness for all of about 3 seconds until she stood up and started throwing a hissy fit.
Okay, but
And
again,
then yes, I had choice
but
words.
again, this is exactly just like you post something on your social media, somebody comes back, read it, comments. You understand what I'm saying? And then for some, because it's again taken personally, there's feelings and emotion involved. When it's all opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But
then
it's
goes-
my opinion. And
I
that's
get
the thing is it's like everybody else, everybody else gets to have an opinion and say whatever the fuck they want. But what if, the thing that got me, what she said to me is, they just want to be happy. Well, we all want to be happy. I would love to be a server and only work this and do this and make the same amount of money of a guy who's out there digging ditches.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen. So
I
if
get
you don't like how much money you're making, fucking move on.
But I have a thing
Well,
because
they deserve a right to be happy.
because the part that I'm thinking about as I'm playing it out in my mind is you took it upon yourself to respond to her and open the door to open up, have dialogue with her. Me, I probably
she
would have
butted into my conversation.
Regardless, you opened the you reacted, you responded. I would have walled her out and ignored her. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In some kind of way. If you didn't want the type of dialogue.
So you wouldn't take the no. I didn't mind the dialogue because I know how ignorant it is.
Okay.
You have people out here, there are literally people out here that think that getting free money is a right.
Free money?
Right, exactly. But the example that I would give in that scenario is, so you think that you should be able to be at home, have a home, and do what you want. Where do you get your food? Well, I get it from the grocery store. Where's the grocery store get it from? Well, grocery store gets it from so and so. And you follow it back to, okay, so now we're at a farmer, whether it's meat or vegetables, want to be a fucking vegan, fine, be a vegan. somebody is out there. So you're saying that that farmer with whatever food you're buying should do that work for free so that you can eat.
I don't get this. I don't understand. What do you mean? So
Well,
they
you know, California now has a pilot program where everybody has a base income of like $1,000 a month.
and this is statewide. This is
They're doing it as a pilot. I don't remember how many. It's like
and where's
500,000
this money
people.
supposed to come from?
Exactly.
No, I'm asking.
Well, it comes from, where does all money like that come from?
Taxes?
Taxes.
Well, I mean, this again, it's the world that these governments create.
No, we're
If
not
you
talking
want-
about the
if
government
you
side. We're talking about, let's just say there's no government involved in, oh, here we go. We've actually had conversations about starting municipality, right?
Mhm.
So here's the great example for us. Let's say that we have 5 people who live on our 50 acres,
Yes.
right? And everybody produces something,
Mhm.
right? But mafia, or no, we're not going to say mafia. We're going to say person number 5 says, well, I think I should just get food. So how do they get food? Some other person, as part of the other 4 people, are working so that that person gets food for free, and that person has to do nothing for it. That's
Well-
not earned,
Well, that person may not be a part of the coalition.
but they are. If you take it and you put it into the people
Yeah,
who
but you don't know the behind. That person might be sucking dick. You don't know.
Now, come on, man. I'm trying to
that
stay
motherfucker-
within a
they
realm
might-
of something. It's
Well,
3
I'm
to
saying
good
they
of 'em.
might
You're
be-
number
they might
5.
be
How
earning-
about that? You out there sucking dick?
They might be fucking for food. All I'm saying, they might be fucking for food. You don't know that.
No. You're having to give them food. It's
Yeah,
part
they
of the
fucking
community.
for food. That's what
You
I'm
d-
saying.
you
They
don't-
fucking. They doing they fucking food.
Do
That's
you
what I'm
have to give them food?
You,
Because it
you're
comes
not
back to
taking the
personal
analogy and
choice.
putting it into real life. There are people who truly believe they should be able to sit at home on their ass, and everybody else should have a base income. So they should be able to not have to do anything. That's what this is doing. It's you
That
would
ain't
get
earned at all.
That's not earned.
exactly. So
A base income. Go
We
ahead.
just-
It's not earned. Go ahead. Go ahead.
right. So
Oh, excuse me.
well, the other example of that was they were doing interviews with people with the about base income, and it was people. There was an entire group that was saying, "Well, yeah, I mean, we should just get it." Okay, so other people should have to work, but you should get it for free. So you don't have to work to get anything. You just get to do whatever you want. Well, yeah. Okay, well, how the fuck does that work?
Oh, it's working. That's the way our government's set up.
Ask
some people-
America.
Yeah, some of us
But-
living for free, and
trying-
then if you
Right.
used to live in a certain type of way, somebody then gave you something. It ain't no different from somebody wanting to be a housewife. Apparently, they didn't seen it somewhere.
Yeah, she's
You
a
know, I mean-
housewife, but that means her husband's taken care of.
Yeah,
everything.
but that's what I'm saying is
That's
people
his
don't have
choice.
this. People don't have this expectation unless there's a little bit of reality in there. So the government is supporting some people for them to be able to live that type of lifestyle. Now, if it wasn't there and they just making some shit up, then they'll be like the rest of those people that's living out there on the streets. You know what I mean?
Well, and I know this is a little off topic. I'm a huge believer in assistance and food stamps. I actually know a guy who was on it. I asked him how long. He said for 2 months until he got another job. I was like, "Did you get straight off of it?" He goes, "Yeah, I didn't need it anymore. I only used it because I needed it." And I was like, "But you're the example. There are people that don't take jobs because they're like, well, I get this much from this, I get this much in food stamps. If I get a job and make the same amount of money, but I'm going to have to do all these other things on top of it. I'm going to have to go to work. This money I just get. It's just free money. It's not earned."
Okay.
That's
Now,
called being smart.
and I have to put myself in a situation and
Vaughn.
Oh, well, it is. If the system allows for it, what the fuck do you want me to do? Hell no, I'm not gonna go out here and dig no motherfucking ditch. If I can get $1,500 for free versus working all day for $1,500, why the fuck would I do that? That just, that don't make sense to me. If the government allows for you to do it, hell yeah, take it. for one, for black folks, hell, they owe us most of the shit any goddamn way.
Hey, so look, check this out. And I look at the grand scheme of things. If certain things wasn't created, then the problem may not exist. But so many
There we
times as
go.
humans, we put so much energy into the problem, and we don't look at where the problem was created or originated from. You know what I'm saying? People put standards or government put legislation into law, and we don't want to talk about the legislation. We want to talk about the
Talk about
effect.
the
We don't want to
legislation.
talk about the cause. We
Yeah.
want to talk about the effect. And so much energy is being put into the
There you
effect.
go.
But am
And-
I
and
going
not-
to respect somebody who makes a choice not to get off their fucking ass and work? By the way, the answer is no. If you can't get your ass out there, I mean, fucking flip a burger. I mean, I watch people hustle every day, and I sit there and think, you can do it. This dude can do it. You can't, which
Maybe
is
they can.
probably the same motherfucker hover around and through Walmart.
Again, you're talking about the
The
effect
effect.
and not
waiting,
the cause.
waiting 20 minutes to get that
talking
You're
front
talking
parking
about
spot.
the effect and not the cause.
What's the cause?
the cause? Is it was created.
Yeah.
This whole $1,000 shit.
No,
Who's creating
look,
this?
well, we know
Because
that
you have-
government California, but I
Okay,
want to
but
move
again,
on to.
we
I
can
mean,
talk
there are
about
things
food
that
stamps.
affect.
We can talk
yes.
about whatever.
So let's
Just think
do
about
food
cause
stamps.
and effect. Think about. All right, take this.
But the purpose of it is to help you move forward,
okay, let me
not
throw
to
this
be
out.
You sure?
abused.
Let me throw.
Are
let
you
me-
sure?
Let me throw
Yes,
this out there.
the entire purpose of food stamps is to
Are
get
you
food stamps and
sure?
get off
Are you
food stamps.
sure?
Yes,
Are you sure
I
it's
actually am
designed-
very sure.
Let me
Are
give
you
you this
sure it's
example.
designed to help
Yes,
Let me give-
people make it, or is it designed
Yes.
to put motherfuckers to sleep so we won't want better for it? Before I say it.
hey,
You-
when I go to
I'm
Walmart,
serious.
when I go to Walmart and I'm sitting here buying off-brand stuff, and somebody's sitting here buying name brand and pulling out their Star card, I sit there and laugh my ass off. Which, by the way, the Walmart brand of lasagna is better than the Stouffer's anyway.
Again,
That shit's
Motherfucker, you
hilarious
got
to me.
Philadelphia cream cheese in your refrigerator. I saw it.
and
I
again,
do, and you ate it.
Right.
Again.
So that's name brand.
again, we're
But
talking
there
about
are
the
not a lot of
effect
things that
and
I
not
buy
the cause. Think about it like this. All right, so say I acquire cancer, right? I get cancer.
You acquired
Hey.
it. Where'd you buy it from?
Walmart. The American government put it in there. Anyway, I acquire cancer, right?
They put it in the.
And so now I have to
vaccine.
deal with this. Okay?
Okay.
This cancer. Now you can give me all kind of medicines. You can give me what do they call that when you go to the
chemo.
chemotherapy? You can give me all this. All right, my choice would be fuck all these remedies and these patch jobs, bro. Cut the cancer out and let me get on with my life. Okay. And how that pertains to what I'm saying is we're not going to talk about the cause and effects and the band-aids that we put on situations. Let's think about what this damn situation is and how we can resolve or get rid of it. The problem is I have cancer. I don't want remedies. I don't want patch jobs. Just cut the shit out, bro, and let me go. So with this same situation with this money, hey, that idea, thought shouldn't have never been instituted. You know what I'm saying? And now
What idea and what thought?
this $1,000 wage shit. If the people,
I don't want to
up-
get on this $1,000. I want to get
Whatever
on
the situation.
unemployment,
Okay, unemployment. then. Okay,
food stamps,
they
and
created
things like that.
unemployment and food stamp. It's
Correct.
cancer. Okay, now we're not going to talk about unemployment and food stamps
Go back
as
to
a cancer.
Why is
You
it
want to talk
cancer?
about the effects that cancer is causing and how it's metastasizing. No, let's just cut
Yeah,
the
but
damn
go back-
cancer
But a
out.
lot of
Real
times
time-
you can't cut. It depends on where the cancer is at, is whether they can cut it or
Cancer
not.
is
cut it.
cancer.
No, it's not. It's how different cancers attached to different organs in your body.
I don't want cancer in my body.
The-
I'm just being.
I'm just going to tell you that
I'm just honest.
there are some
But that goes
areas
back
that
to
you
the
have
purpose.
cancers that they can't cut out.
Okay.
It's not possible. I mean,
But that goes
if
back
if
to
they
the
go
purpose.
to you and tell you if we cut this cancer out, you're automatically going to die because here's how it's attached. I mean, you might as well just go jump off a cliff.
But that goes back to the purpose of why. That goes back to the purpose of the perspective of what actually did the government assistance. What was the purpose of it? From your standpoint, you said it's meant to help, but from Mafio's standpoint and perspective, he's saying that it's more cancerous to communities than helpful.
Well,
And
and Bill
was
Clinton.
that the original purpose of government assistance? Was it designed to help, or
it's-
was it designed to handicap people to not make them want more for themselves?
in the beginning, it was designed to help you move forward. So if you lost your job, they would give you money, you would get food stamps, and the point was for you. So that was the original, all assistance like that. That is the purpose of it.
Right.
Did it turn into, and should it have been regulated? Yes. Bill Clinton's version of, look, you can say all you want about Bill Clinton, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that
Black
man
Ed,
said,
we know
I'm gonna
that.
tell you what, if you want this money, you're gonna show up at the unemployment office. You're going, these are the things that you're going to do if you want this free money. You will look, which is one of the reasons that people are like, well, fuck, I
You don't
gotta
even
get
have to
my
do that
ass
no
up,
more.
go to the unemployment office 3 times a week. I might as well take my ass out and go get a job. And that's what happened.
Good morning, Mike. There you go.
So yes, did it turn into something else? 100%. It started out as,
Again, we're not. We're talking about the metastasization.
but remember who's doing it. It's
cancer.
politicians who are basically
Of
saying, we're
course.
going to keep it up because you'll vote
course.
for me because I'll give you free money.
And that's a whole nother layer of the game. You know what I'm saying? Bill Clinton, when you say his name, bro, and I say legislation or government over me, I can't accept that. From knowing the things, you know what I'm saying? That
I get.
endured.
Wait, I don't want to get into that. My point being, I mean, I don't.
At the end of the day, all
Yeah.
these topics we're talking about, if we choose to be a part of that in any kind of way, whether thought or whatever, that's a choice we made to be a part of, have an argument or have an opinion or judgment on someone. Man, it's not affecting me. So
It does affect you.
man, they gonna take their money. It's been set up anyway. I can't do nothing about the IRS and getting rid of that. How can we vote that shit out? How can we vote the Federal Reserve? Goddamn it, not
Biggest
You
pimp,
know,
the biggest pimp
it's a
around here.
system. It's some things.
The
you
one
just
people who can't be fired.
I guess that's that cancer that you can't cut out or can't
What
get
is?
rid of. IRS, Federal Reserve, taxes.
And what about these fucking school taxes I pay over here and I don't have a kid in the fucking
In school.
district? That's gorilla
Yeah.
pimping at its fucking best.
But he did move to that neighborhood though, right? Again, we choose.
You've been living in Arlington. They got horrible taxes because of the fucking.
I don't give a fuck. I
what
could
was,
play golf. I could drive my car. I
you
could
can
put
play golf
gas in it,
anywhere.
I could
There's
do-
fucking
I
20
could
million
still
golf
live my life.
courses.
Again,
You sound rich and snobbish.
I can't do anything about the game that they created. I mean, well, we can get together and vote, and it's gonna change, or get whoever out.
You-
Man, that
you-
game has been solidified since the creation of United States of America.
But again, I always go back to the same thing. Women's rights was solidified since the beginning. You know, that civil rights was solidified, that blacks didn't have rights. You know, all of these things were solidified in facts at the time until people finally said, and I know what you're going to say, well, I can't do nothing. Well, if everybody back then would have said, well, I can't do nothing, we would be exactly where we were before.
I'll give you an example again.
Okay.
Again, it was solidified on paper, but when it came out to acting and the people doing it, man, that shit fell through the cracks.
What?
With what? Women's rights, civil rights. Man, that's
Slavery?
That's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm saying?
How is
Like-
that in the eye of the beholder? These are factual things. Are there things that still need to be improved? 100%. But are you saying, well, I'm just not going to do anything about it? And that's what gets me. I'm just not going to do anything. If you look back at
gonna.
history and say, well, if I was back then, I just wouldn't have done anything about it. I just would have done the status quo. I never would have wanted change. You know,
Who
Martin
the
Luther
fuck
King
said
marched.
that?
That's what he's saying, that he doesn't want that he can't do anything about it.
I can.
So therefore he is just going to exit it. I'm not going to participate in it.
What I'm saying is I'm going to do something about it,
What?
but I know I'm only in control of what I can control. The only thing and person I can control on this planet is myself. So again, I choose not to be so affected by.
I don't know.
or
I'm not
let
talking
these
about being
things-
affected by. I'm talking about
In fact,
participating. You told me you don't vote.
I don't.
But again, you go back to if everybody had that same frame of mind, nothing would ever change. There are always those people, the John Lewises, who decide to get out there and march and do something about it and take a fucking brick in the head, you know. And then there's people who are like, well, you know, I mean, just imagine if nobody would have ever stood up and done anything. That is my point, is that I believe, yes, your participation may seem like it means nothing, but the more people that participate, well, there's a good question for you. You don't participate. I understand why. So if you did participate and 10 years down the road, you found out that only one person was affected and started participating because you participated, would it be worth it? It's like a school teacher. It's, you know, the one student, you know, would that be like, all right, you know, I only got one person, but that one person is going to show somebody else, and it's just nonstop. It's, you know, people are going to get involved.
Is that a person, an individual, or even an entity for that matter that can change it? That can actually
the people as a
push a
whole can
button.
change things.
But
Yes,
but you can't get people together as a whole. So now
you
we
did.
have a whole.
We saw it during George Floyd.
And where did
We've
that
seen
get
the
us?
reforms,
Motherfuckers still getting killed by police every day.
but you're also seeing them go to prison,
No, not
left
all
and
of
right.
them.
You see, hell, the girl who accidentally shot old boy got convicted.
And there was another one in Minnesota that
Was it an
didn't get convicted.
The girl who
And that
said
happened in the last-
tase, she thought she had her taser, but it was a gun. What in the world does that face?
That means, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you don't know the difference between a gun and a taser? Like, come on, man.
You know,
I mean,
you
That's
saw
like
the
saying I don't know
lady
the
here,
difference
the
between
cop
two
here.
fingers.
Hey,
That's like
they got
just saying you
convicted.
don't know the difference between one finger and two fingers in your mouth. Like, well, get the fuck out of here, man.
it's like throwing popcorn kernels at a brick wall.
So do
expecting
nothing.
for that wall to apparently fall at some point.
So do nothing.
I mean, I'm not saying don't do nothing. Do something. Definitely do something. But what are you gonna do?
That is the big question.
I'm going to self-govern myself and control myself through controlling my attitude and my reaction towards it. If I can control it, it's on. I'm gonna handle my business to the best of my ability. If I can't control it, man, I'm not gonna involve myself with that. Then I just beat my head against the wall.
If you saw an opportunity to participate in something, whatever it may be, that it might have changed because it's not going to have immediate change for you right then and there, you're out. And it's something you'd have to participate in that you don't know if it's going to, but the knowledge of knowing I'm going to participate and be part of that change, you wouldn't participate.
It's situational. I will have to see what that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a damn situation.
Yeah, find a situation, because again,
I'm on the lookout.
if we get together and say we finna overthrow the American government,
you're not gonna overthrow the American government. You're
My
gonna take
point
it back,
exactly.
but you're
My
gonna
point
take it back.
exactly. So you're not gonna make
No.
just because.
But
there's
you're gonna
legislation,
take it
you-
back and reshape it.
Hold
Yes,
up,
you
bro.
are. That's not
Hold up,
about
bro.
taking it back. This
Those
isn't-
motherfuckers that stormed the Capitol really thought they was gonna just take over.
Now they all in jail.
My point
Right.
exactly.
Right.
My
You're
point
doing too
exactly.
goddamn
So you're
much.
throwing popcorn kernels at a brick wall, expecting
Yeah,
it to
you
fall,
playing.
bro.
You're
What are you
playing,
gonna
man.
do?
And I don't think nobody understands that more. That you didn't see black people charging that, cause motherfucker, we know better. It was like, nah.
That's auto shoot.
It's like, yeah, that's on auto shoot now. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, we have to. At the end of the day, I think we have to. You walking the line between, you know, what's going on in the Matrix and what's going on the outside of it. You know what I mean? And if you choose to go all the way left with it, you looking for a life that you're gonna be struggling and fighting that whole time. I think we have to pick and choose, you know, our battles. Pick and choose our battles. John Lewis put in a lot of work. John Lewis dead too.
He just died of natural causes.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
not like he
shit,
was
because he's been
murdered.
working his whole goddamn time. Sit back
Yep.
and take some of that free money. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm not gonna get dog. If the system.
Lived in the
built-
same house in the same neighborhood the whole
Same
time.
house,
too.
same neighborhood. You know what I mean? He just trying to. I mean, we got to. You know, I think once you go through enough, you pick and choose your battles, man. And I understand what both you guys are saying.
But you
and
marched. You went out there.
yeah,
and
I
marched in
did.
Cedar
I
Hill.
did. But
You participated.
yeah, but we didn't charge no fucking capital. I'm not doing that. That's what the fuck I'm
Well,
not
but
doing.
look what charging the capital didn't get them what they wanted because what they wanted was unlawful.
But
They
you
gotta
tell me to
make
go and
sense
vote
first.
just because we
Yeah.
want to change laws and this shit.
But
ain't been
the
changed in
people who
hundreds.
voted, their vote didn't change. Biden got elected in office duly. He should have been, and he was. So nothing changed.
I don't-
They were
I can't
no.
say that
You're
for
you're
sure.
comparing
I
a.
can't say that for
Yeah, I
sure because
can.
I don't believe in
I
I don't
don't give
believe
a
in a
shit about
voting
that.
system. I don't believe
Yeah,
in government.
I get it, but and you don't want to participate in it, which is it frustrates me the amount of people. What we have is the people who are out there who want to participate are so ridiculous. You know, it's complete ignorance. The people who actually, not all, but a lot of the people who are going to participate just take it like, here's a good example. AOC, right? She has the environmental bill, which I keep telling, I've said this a million times. I don't understand why, why do you keep saying, why don't you just say, wouldn't you like cleaner air? Wouldn't you like to go into a city and not be coughing up soot from cars? These are the things we can do to clean up air. Stop talking about everything else. It simply boils down to that. But she puts out a bill that is so ridiculous. She wants to get rid of all the cows because they create methane, and literally listed as shit in the bill.
Bitch, you playing? I'm gonna have my
Yeah.
hamburger. You got me fucked. She's
So-
fucking up hamburgers now.
It wasn't what I
no.
consider a gauged response.
It's not gonna happen.
You don't just jump off the cliff. You got to walk up to it first before you get in well, we don't want any more planes. So in the next 2 years, all we want is bullet trains. Well, that's not going to fucking happen. I hate flying, so I'm all for a bullet train. I'm all for that bitch. I don't like heights. I damn sure don't like getting on that fucking plane. Motherfucker, aren't you going to board first? Bitch, I got an assigned seat. I'm going to be the last. They're going to be like, doors are closing in 2 minutes. I put a fucking stopwatch on. Boop. Minute 59, I start walking out. I think I'm right here.
Truckers convoy to D.C. Nothing happened except for the guy using his life savings for a cause nobody followed. Yeah, see.
And it wasn't organized. I mean, that you have again, their deal is ridiculous. They don't want to get vaccinated. They're anti-vax. The whole DC thing's the anti-vaxxers, and there's ridiculousness on both sides of it. These people don't really talk to anybody. They're in a truck by themselves 90% of the time. They don't come in contact with the product because they don't load and unload their own vehicles. But just like if you want to be a nurse or a doctor or anything else, you have to be vaccinated. You don't see very many, especially the amount of money these motherfuckers make. You heard about all the nurses in New York quitting. Where'd their bitch asses go? They went to Florida, and now they're nurses because they're not required to do XYZ.
Okay, so if you don't like Walmart, then you go to
Target,
Tom Thumb, and
Brookshire's. That's the funny thing. No, there's
shit.
absolutely nothing wrong with it. But if he doesn't want to be if he doesn't want to get vaccinated, well, then don't be a trucker. If that's the requirement that they're putting on it, then don't be a trucker.
Okay, but think about what the origination of this requirement and people's right to their own bodies. You're legislating them. You're changing their whole lifestyle.
Yeah,
now.
thank you,
This
Biden.
is something. This is
a flu shot.
This is something that they've.
I've never gotten the flu shot.
This is.
So what's
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's people's preference, man. If that motherfucker don't want to take a shot, well, I mean that's on.
But I'm with it. So
but you say you can't have a livelihood.
But if you decide to
don't do
drive
this.
your trucker's
They've been
convoy
driving for 20 years before they threw.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about the DC, man. Calm down. So if you decide to do that and you want to spend your life savings, then that's a choice for you to do. And nobody followed. Hey, doesn't sound like very good organizing to me. I mean, did you get on the walkie-talkie and say, hey, who's going to go with me on this? And it was just silence, crickets, and you were like, I'm doing it anyways. Wasn't very good organizing.
I say that about voting. I say that about the government.
Again,
might-
but if you don't participate, you can't, you know, it keeps going back to the same thing. If nobody ever participated, then we would be right where we are. I mean, in hell, we'd be British right
Well,
now.
I think
God save the Queen.
I think for so long,
Cheerio!
I think for so long that a certain type of people's participation didn't even fucking matter, and they did what they want to do anyway. And I think you know, a small percentage of us still feel that way. You know that things don't change unless something really drastic happens to shift the dynamics of what's going on. And you know, if you've built,
She is
if
100% correct, by the way. I like that comment.
yeah, if you didn't, you know, if you built, if the
Leave
old
that up there.
saying, what's
Okay, go
that?
ahead, Vaughn. Go ahead, Vaughn.
The old saying, if you build, a day will come, is true. You built a system in which you've made people that in which you've both handicapped and helped people in the same damn system. And at some point, if you want people to get off their ass, you're gonna have to cut off some shit. But I don't know at that point, if they haven't used their legs up to this point, what you expect them to use their legs now for?
For anything that they think, you know,
Other
obviously
than Black
this
Friday.
no. So obviously this trucker felt that it was worth spending his life savings, and he decided to do it. So hopefully he's happy with that decision. Again, just like was up there, you know, he didn't think of the totality of the whole process. I agree with that.
Well, the truck driver, he was
yeah.
just looking at one piece of it, didn't know you know.
Yeah. And I think a lot of things that get organized nowadays are the same thing. You know, you had which, by the way, let's remember that there were quite a few parts to the riots that happened as part of George Floyd that were the opposite side intentionally doing it to make the protesters look bad. But if you look at the video from New York, the guy was sitting there egging those guys on to flip over a car. Come to find out, they found out that he was some alt-right Republican that was literally inciting them to do it, and they called him out. And so I mean that's awesome.
Okay, all right. Now take that same situation. They call him out, right? But
Mhm.
what happened when? Okay, we're gonna talk about some cancers. What happened when they called George Soros out? The one that's supposedly been funding or was the mastermind behind all these guys going out, the individuals going out to do those type of incitements. You see what I'm saying?
No.
They covered that up. Don't talk about him. Just talk about him.
You know about it, so obviously they didn't cover it up very well.
My point exactly. But man, if you're not gonna get to the heart of the cancer, don't talk about how it
But
metastasized.
then that's the point. Get to the heart of the cancer.
You don't get to pick and choose the bad parts. Yeah, he's the source of it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So you
Kill
put
the
it out there
source.
and you make sure it doesn't die and you fight against it. And, you know, the people who are now, you know, doing these marches or ever after a lot of these, they're actually going, all right, you know, who's around us? You know, who's saying to do this? And by the way, it happens on both sides. If a bunch of Republicans get out there, and it did not happen on January 6th, that was all fucking dumbass hillbillies, but it happens on both sides of it. It doesn't matter. They intentionally go out there to make that other side look bad, no matter which side they're sitting there and arguing for. But yeah, you need to know who the people that are around you. You need to participate in things that you feel are the right thing. If you found out a police officer shot a man for absolutely no reason, and I said, Mafio, they're having a gathering, I think we should go out there.
I'm not going. Because that shit ain't gonna stop police from killing people. Not where I come from.
Okay. So do nothing. Got it.
I ain't say do nothing, man.
Let's do nothing.
Prosecute
What are you
my
gonna
man
do?
like you prosecuting all them people.
Maybe
from
you
my-
being out there
Hold
gets
up.
him
Hold up.
prosecuted.
Prosecute
Maybe
that.
Mafio the Reminder says something and the DA goes, you know what?
Can I finish? Prosecute that man the same way you prosecute all these black men in the community I come from, with the same type of stipulations. And if you gonna got them, give this guy 20 years for drugs? Bro, you mean to tell me a police officer can go out and kill somebody and it's not even 20 off the top?
So I have a question.
Off the top?
I have a question. Do you think that Chauvin would have been convicted like he was if it wasn't for all the public outrage?
If it wasn't on camera, Chauvin would
No,
still
no, no.
be out there putting his
If
neck
it
on motherfuckers,
wasn't
bro.
for the public outrage.
If it wasn't for the camera, Chauvin would still be out there.
How is it that I can ask a question and you go in a completely different direction?
If it wasn't for the
you don't think, do you think that Chauvin would have been convicted the way he was, been charged the way he was, if there hadn't been public outrage?
I think they're both connected, though. You can make all the holler.
Wait a minute, you just said it though, but they're both connected. The public outrage is what's right. So if you went out there,
I'm talking about the visual. If the visual wasn't there, and we just and the people was just there, I don't think it would have picked up as much
momentum,
as much speed as it did, because we were able to see that they've been killing motherfuckers forever.
What about the young lady? What about the young lady that
what
got
about
pulled
the
over
white
in the
dude here in
traffic stop
Dallas that they killed? The cops killed. Nothing happened to him because there was no public outrage. Nobody cared about that dude.
Okay, but still, it's just okay. With all the public outrage, police still killing motherfuckers, bro.
But this is what I'm saying. So just don't participate in anything. Just let it go.
What is
because the more and more
pacing going to result?
You never know. Maybe they're like, Mafio, the reminder's here.
Like
and what he said,
it
makes me change my mind. I'm going to prosecute this dude to the fullest extent of the law.
Exactly. If I'm hungry and I'm going out to hunt, if I see something, I'm going to shoot that. I'm not going to shoot a bullet in the air and hope it come down on the head of them. You understand what I'm saying? What's the point?
Let's drink.
Exactly.
It is drinking time. Well, not yet. It's a little early.
Hey, bro, the shit that's going on in this world is gonna go on in this world. I can only control my
right. But again, if nobody does anything, nothing ever changes. I mean, we would go back to when we were all British. No, fuck, you'd even go back further than that.
And
we're British. Don't have them. We'd be fucking British. If nobody did anything, we would still be British. If nobody ever did anything, slavery would still exist. If nobody ever did anything, then Bailey's and coffee. Girl.
If nobody did anything.
That was Mike. Oh, I can't say.
They say it's changed, but this shit is still there, bro. And there's no.
No, you're not. You're not fucking British.
Everybody isn't equal either.
But you're not British.
But everybody isn't equal either.
You're not British.
We're not
taxation
British.
without representation. There's a ton of fucking things. Slavery doesn't exist.
Okay, well, let's talk about
I mean, seriously, you're acting as if everybody just sat around and was like, I'm not going to participate in anything and shit'll just go away. It's not the way it fucking works.
We came over here on some luxury cruisers. That's how I got here.
Up onto the luxury cruisers.
Okay, so let's take this concept about England being in control of the taxation of the
oh
colonies.
Jesus, we're gonna go into you'd rather be English, aren't we?
I'm just saying, Joe. It went from the 13 colonies said, "Fuck you! You want to tax us and take away from us, but you're not giving us anything." So America created the same thing here, where they're gonna tax us.
You have representation, but you don't want to talk. We've had that discussion. You don't want to talk to your congressman. And is it going to do you any good? Bro, maybe not. You don't want to vote for your congressperson. You don't want to vote for your because I get it. But that's your answer. Do nothing and whatever.
Congressmen and all these going to these senators and all that. That's just like getting a public defender in a case where I had a fight with a officer.
Same thing would happen, but the same thing goes for everyone who you look at the changes that have been made.
A public defender to fight against the machine. The machine controls him.
But
he gonna fight.
The machine's been broken many a time.
My point exactly. So let's not talk about where it's broken. Let's talk about
people have broken the machine many times. We broke the machine of slavery. We broke the machine of civil rights. Is it where it needs to be? No. Does it need to go even further? Yes. But compared to what it was, segregation does not exist. It may exist in a private golf club. It may exist in a country club. It may exist Hell, it existed in Augusta. From my understanding, reading the deal, Tiger Woods wasn't even allowed to play in Augusta when he first played in Augusta.
But they saw a benefit from him, and
They
now
sure
it's
did. And they let him
Fondo
in.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
bet you they've been doing that
Come on now.
nonstop. But the point being is, the more you fight, the more things happen.
I choose my battles wisely.
You
And if
choose
I
no
feel-
battles.
If I feel I have no fight in a battle, bro, why am I go over here and pick a fight with Von Solo?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna, I'm gonna take him out his ankles. That's about the only thing I can reach.
All
Very
that mean is top half gonna fall on your ass. That's all that means. Like this.
Hey, so with that being said,
Yeah.
with that being said, as always, guys, we done come to the end of the road on this show today. And I want to just thank all of our listeners. I thank you guys for this energy on this day, because I'm going to channel it in a beautiful way of being in control of what I have control over and not worry about this world that man created where I can talk about a problem. But with that being said, guys, you have anything before we close?
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube, and Twitter. You know,
Yeah.
and we like your comments. We appreciate your participation,
All the time.
and you know, we just love you, baby.
And
These are all
throw
my
those-
people. These are all my people on here. These my people.
I know
in
we
here.
see them. All right, here we
Shout
go.
out, baby, to all my peoples, man. My people,
Hell
Mike,
yeah, we
Keisha,
appreciate
both
it.
Mikes,
Yeah.
Jarrell, you know what I'm saying? All the people out here, baby, that woke up this morning. Big Flo was on there too. He didn't want to say nothing this morning. So
All
I
right.
guess he feeling like a zombie.
All right.
Ah. All right,
Thank you.
guys, we're out.
Have a great weekend.